Hello and welcome to another edition of Lab Matters, a webcast from Kaspersky Lab. I have with me here today the CTO for Kaspersky Lab, Mr. Nikolay Grebennikov. And Nikolay, I wanted to talk to you about the changing face of the anti-malware product. There's this false perception that antivirus and anti-malware technology is based on signatures, but that's obviously a false perception. Can you talk a little bit about how the products, anti-malware products, has had to evolve to keep up with the changing face of the threats, and what are some of the very important components that has been added to anti-malware technology to make sure you move beyond signatures?
Yeah, hello Ryan, and you're absolutely right. Right now, signatures is just one of the layers in anti-malware protection, and we've developed a lot of new layers. The most important of them are heuristic and emulation, when we try to understand what this particular application will do if we run it in the system. And after that, we can apply some what we call behavioral heuristics to detect malware by behavior. It's very powerful technology because it's possible to detect the whole family of malware by just one or two signatures, behavioral signatures. At the same time, it's very important to add the proactive component of analysis of execution of the files in the system in real time, and we do it with our system watcher component. So we watch on applications and try to see what it will do in real system, and if we detect malicious behavior after some minutes of execution, we can roll back all the changes from the system. And moreover, it's not enough to have just signatures, heuristics, and some proactive defense in real time. It's also very important to add URL, malicious URL detection, because in this case you can block the whole set of malware which will be uploaded by bad guys to this URL. And additional components like sandbox and host intrusion prevention policies on endpoint machine.
Just get back to the system watcher for a second. To the average IT guy out there, he's not necessarily a malware analyst. Explain to him exactly what the system watcher does and why it's an important component to what he's relying on.
System watcher is a protection component which monitor the behavior of all applications in the system except trusted ones, and understand the execution log, all actions which have been done by this application, and apply some heuristics based on our knowledge of what is malicious application, what is not non-malicious, and we can detect after analysis of all these logs the bad behavior. At the same time, this log of actions of application is very useful when we have to roll back all the changes from the system.
And the URL blocking component also becomes very, very important as you tie everything together. But you're not killing signatures either. I mean, signatures are getting smarter. Your signature database is still there. It's still an important component to it. And you've also been using the cloud to beef up the way signatures are distributed to end users. Can you talk a little bit about KSN and your cloud component?
Yeah, we call it right now not KSN, but Cloud, Kaspersky Security Network. And the idea here is very simple. We have more and more signatures in our databases, and taking into account whitelisting approach we also push right now, we have to store all this data somewhere. And if you think about laptops and smartphones and other devices, it's not so good idea to upload all these files, all these signatures to each device. And we come to the idea to use cloud. So it's Kaspersky Lab servers in different parts of the world, and all our applications connect to these servers and ask when you, for example, run new application or download new executable application, our Kaspersky Internet Security or Kaspersky Antivirus ask our Kaspersky Security Network about the reputation of this file, and in 40 seconds, we return answer and process this request.
Right, and that also helps you on the detection side. If it's a new application that is potentially dangerous, the cloud can detect that and tell the rest of the user bases that.
Sure, very important part of the cloud, but it's not just one-way road. It's two ways, and we collect information about some potentially dangerous behaviors of applications from millions of machines, and based on this information we can detect new malware even without having the body of the file in the lab just by analysis of this metadata and statistical data. It's very powerful technology.
And another big layer, another big component is application control, whitelisting. Talk a little bit about how you go about building this database of good files, and the importance of whether your database, whether you can build something on your own, whether you need to partner with additional whitelisting companies, maybe download.com or some of the other databases to get that. How do you go about building your database?
Yeah, Ryan, you touched a very interesting point, because we really believe that whitelisting is one of the key elements of Kaspersky technology strategy. And if you think about the future, a lot of new devices like your CPU in cars, airplanes, probably devices which control your heart, and other devices. In these cases, it's much better idea not to create a database of bad files, but create a database of good files and allow this application to run and block all other execution of such systems. And we built a whitelisting database. We have been building this database since 2007.
And you're using the cloud to help with that?
Yes, exactly. Because without cloud, it will be hard to use such big database. And we partner with a lot of companies. I can mention Blizzard from gaming industry.
Okay.
Yeah, I can mention Hewlett-Packard and others companies who create new hardware, and we download new drivers and all these things. And also, of course, we've partnered with Microsoft, Adobe, and other companies. And in many cases, we got information about new files they are going to launch in nearest days in our database before end user will have it on their machines.
Excellent.
And it's not the only way how we add files to our whitelisting database. We also created crawlers to get data from sites like download.com and other sites which collect information in the internet.
Other popular software repositories.
And of course, we use our Kaspersky security network to understand the prevalence of white files and what files are run on machines of our users more often.
How do you treat gray files, for instance, files that you don't know whether it's clean or dirty?
The main idea that we have on our endpoint machines technology we call security rating to understand the level of risk for each unknown application. And based on calculated level of risk, we can apply host intrusion prevention policies to block the most dangerous operations made by malware usually, like low-level access to hard drive, getting your keyboard input, and so on. At the same time, our goal is to decrease the number of unknown applications. And in our lab, for example, we use technology to make gray application white based on database of white websites. And we try to understand if this gray application is on white website, we can say that it's white. And of course, we have very, very complex and complicated and very expensive infrastructure to monitor and to calculate the reputation of all unknown files.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nick. And thank you for watching another edition of Lab Matters, a webcast from Kaspersky Lab. You can catch some of our other webcasts at youtube.com/Kaspersky. Thank you.